Questions remain for students, teachers, and community members over the shooting death of a 15-year-old student. New details about what he left behind and the officers involved. Seeking safety on American soil will show you the different pathways used by asylum seekers and refugees to make it to the U.S.
City Council, please help these dreams move along. Without the proper funding, there will be no more songs.
Waking up to a three-ring circus, the theatrical defense to save the arts in San Diego. KPBS Evening Edition starts right now. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Ebony Monet. We're learning more tonight about the Saturday morning shooting that resulted in the death of a 15-year-old. Police are now saying he left a suicide note. Officials found the note on his body, and police are not releasing the name of the Torrey Pines High School student due to his age. And school officials say his family has also asked that his name be withheld. KPBS is honoring this request. Police have released the names of the two San Diego police officers involved. They are Officer Gilbert Flores, a 28-year department veteran, and Officer Kai Johnson, who has been on the force for 4 years. Police say the teen had a semi-automatic BB air pistol. Authorities believe he planned a suicide by cop. Today, classmates at Torrey Pines added to a growing memorial outside the school and are trying to cope with the loss. KPBS education reporter Megan Burks has the report.
Well, a very different Monday morning here at Torrey Pines High School. As students streamed into class, many of them stopped and paused at this growing memorial behind me. Many of them stopped and left flowers or hugged friends. And once inside school, they had access to counselors and social workers who would help them get through today.
As much as we want to try and stay on track as much as possible, teachers are aware that they're going to need to be flexible today and be ready to adjust their lesson plans. And so as students want to talk through this situation, or if they recognize a student who might need some help, they need to be ready to pivot.
The San Diego Unified High School District began mobilizing Saturday as investigators were still here in this parking lot investigating the scene where two officers responding to a welfare check fatally shot a 15-year-old boy. It's now believed that the boy himself was the one who called in that welfare check. Officers say he allegedly pulled a handgun on them, and that's when they fired multiple rounds. They administered first aid and took the boy to the hospital, but he later died there. As is usually the case in officer-involved shootings, the officers involved are on desk duty while the department and possibly the district attorney's office investigate the incident. It's been practice here in San Diego County that the DA releases body camera footage once her investigation is complete, so we may see more footage of what happened here Saturday in the coming weeks. Reporting from Torrey Pines High School, I'm Megan Burks.
If you or someone you know is thinking about suicide, there are plenty of people who can help. There's the San Diego Crisis Line. That's 888-724-7240. You can also text 741-741. Another resource is the website suicideispreventable.org with information about warning signs and how to talk to someone who's thinking about suicide. San Diego-based Bumblebee Foods has pleaded guilty to price fixing. The U.S. Department of Justice says the tuna canning company will pay $25 million and cooperate with an ongoing antitrust investigation into the packaged seafood industry. Federal civil litigation alleges the company conspired with competitors to set prices. There's been criticism from volunteers of San Diego County Animal Services, saying the department is poorly run and euthanizes more animals than it should. That has in part led to the San Diego County Board of Supervisors to consider outsourcing animal services. But current employees don't like that idea. KPBS reporter Claire Tregesser has more.
Hey, ho, ho. A group group of SEIU members rallied outside the county animal shelter Monday. The union represents animal services staff and made it clear they don't want their jobs outsourced. The county is considering hiring either the city of Chula Vista or the San Diego Humane Society to take on animal control duties. Kathy Cleveland, a lieutenant with Animal Services, says the Humane Society doesn't have enough experience.
By outsourcing animal services, the county is creating a monopoly with no competition. It's not like outsourcing IT or the trash. There are lots of companies that do those things. There's only one Humane Society, and there's us.
Cleveland says that monopoly could allow the Humane Society to raise its prices when its contract is up in 5 years. A spokeswoman for the Humane Society says the nonprofit already provides animal control for 6 local cities and says its employees are highly trained. Bobby Keith, an animal shelter attendant, got choked up when he talked about how seriously he takes his job.
How to help that animal that comes in scared, hurt, injured, and we're trying to make this animal to where it can become adoptable.
The animal shelter was criticized by volunteers last year for putting down animals despite its Getting to Zero policy that says no adoptable animals will be euthanized. It was also called out for making it too hard to adopt animals. For example, until recently, the shelter wasn't open on Sundays when most people are off work. The county supervisors are expected to make a decision on outsourcing in the coming months. Claire Tregesser, KPBS News.
San Diego art supporters are advocating to keep local funding. More than 100 rallied this morning at San Diego City Hall. KPBS Metro reporter Andrew Bowen says the city's arts budget faces deep cuts.
City Council, please help these dreams move along. Without the proper funding, there will be no more songs.
There was a fun and humorous mood at the early morning rally with singing, dancing, even a juggler. And the message was clear. The $4.7 million in cuts to arts and culture funding proposed by Mayor Kevin Faulconer are too severe.
We're here standing up for the good people of San Diego to bring them a quality of life that matters. Ladies and gentlemen, let's make some noise. The arts matter.
In 2012, the City Council passed a roadmap to gradually increase arts funding, which had been gutted during the Great Recession. But the city has consistently fallen short of its own goals.
We all need to balance budgets. We do this all the time in our organizations. We understand the need to make the budget balance, and we're certainly willing to work with the city on doing it. But a 30% cut, more than any other area of the budget, that seems a little unreasonable.
After the rally ended, many attendees went up to the City Council chambers to speak on the proposed budget. And council members were receptive to their concerns. Councilman David Alvarez says the cuts to arts funding are devastating.
They are nowhere near equitable to what's happening in our city. And while it is a bit difficult budget year, and I think you'll hear a lot of that, we can't use difficult times as an excuse not to invest in the things that we care about.
The mayor is presenting a revised budget next week. The city council will then review that proposal as well. Of course, this $81 million budget deficit is not going away. So if funding for the arts is increased, or if the cuts don't come from the arts, they will have to come from another city department. Andrew Bowen, KPBS News.
Texas has passed a new law to allow police officers to ask the immigration status of anyone they detain. Several police chiefs around the state object, saying it will have a chilling effect on immigrant families reporting crimes or coming forward as witnesses. It also drew criticism from Mexico, which is the state's largest trading partner. The law goes into effect in September. A federal appeals court took a look at the challenge to President Trump's travel ban today. It appears to hinge on whether the court agrees the president's past anti-Muslim statements can be used against him. During the campaign, then candidate Trump said he would institute a shutdown of Muslims entering the country. The 13 judges in the Fourth Circuit panel peppered both sides with tough questions, but gave few clues as to how they might rule. As more sweeping challenge to the ban is scheduled to be heard by the Ninth Circuit Court next week. Refugees in the news have been in the news a lot lately, which often thrusts San Diego into the national spotlight. Last year, the county resettled more refugees than any other region, but there's a slightly smaller group that's also coming to San Diego for protection. Those are asylum seekers, and they're processed differently than refugees, but come here for similar reasons. Here's a look at the differences.
Refugees and asylum seekers are foreign nationals who come to the United States for the same thing: safety. To get that, both must prove they fear persecution or were persecuted in their home country for one of 5 reasons: race, religion, nationality, politics, or membership in a social group. San Diego immigration lawyer Tammy Lynn says the two groups are nearly the same, but
the only difference is that refugees get their legal status abroad.
Refugees may be fleeing major conflicts that can get the attention of international organizations. Those groups then support camps that provide refugees with food, shelter, and other assistance.
So when they enter the country, they already are deemed a refugee.
Lynn says asylum seekers typically don't have this option because they're often fleeing individual conflicts.
I have LGBT cases from former Soviet Union, from the African continent, a client that has an arrest warrant for just being gay. I have folks that were politically active.
One option for them is to reach the U.S. first and then file for asylum. Kathy Anderson is executive director of the nonprofit Survivors of Torture International. She says for many, the asylum process begins at our border.
And they may say things once they arrive to our port of entry and say something along the lines of, it's not safe for me to go home. If I go home, I'm going to be killed.
Asylum seekers can wait an estimated 2 to 5 years until their claim is approved, if it is at all. Anderson says until then, they're not entitled to the same supportive services as refugees, which include welfare, food stamps, and programs offered by resettlement agencies.
It is a very invisible, marginalized population. The structures that we have in place are set up beautifully for refugee resettlement agencies. Comparable structures are not in place for the asylum seekers.
That means we're not spending taxpayer dollars while their claims are pending. But Lynn says this leaves asylum seekers with few options.
There may be local nonprofits that have programs maybe they're eligible for, but in terms of any government assistance, they don't qualify. Also, for a lot of nonprofits, it depends whether or not they look at legal status. For asylum seekers, they are in this strange limbo where they are not illegal, but they're not legal because they're waiting for something. They're just pending.
During that time, many are released from custody and must support themselves while awaiting their day in court. But Lynn says this can be a benefit.
And so they would be able to do their cases outside of the detention facility, which actually saves taxpayers money and also helps attorneys and their clients be able to do their cases much more efficiently and not under constraints.
However, an executive order from the Trump administration would limit this policy. In the document, the president declared it is the policy of the executive branch to end the abuse of parole and asylum provisions currently used to prevent the lawful removal of removable aliens. Terrence Shigg is the president of the local Border Patrol Union. Agents frequently encounter people seeking asylum and turn them over to Immigration and Customs Enforcement. He says since Trump's order, immigration officials have prioritized the detention of single adults, but space has been a problem. He says families are still paroled in the U.S. after a few days. But he also says agents have raised concerns over the last couple of years that asylum fraud is a growing problem. In an email, he wrote, "Many of the unsubstantiated claims we hear on a regular basis by asylum seekers is not what the asylum system was set up for." Taryn Mento, KPBS News.
If you have questions about how these or other immigration systems work, we'd love to hear them. Go to kpbs.org and click on the questionnaire in the story to tell us what you'd like to know. Scientists at UC San Diego have created a bioengineered bone tissue that acts like real bone when transplanted into mice. KPBS science reporter David Wagner has more.
The scientists built a kind of scaffolding that supports stem cells that can turn into bone-like tissue and functional bone marrow. They were able to successfully transplant that lab-grown bone into mice. UC San Diego bioengineering professor Shiny Varghese led the study.
We transplanted this engineered bone tissue into a mice, and we looked at the function of this engineered bone tissue, and it functioned very much like our own tissue.
Varghese says these transplants need further development, but the hope is that one day they could treat non-malignant bone marrow diseases in humans. David Wagner, KPBS News.
All this week, San Diegans will attempt to live on a food budget of about $4.18 a day. It's part of the CalFresh Challenge. The annual event highlights the average amount San Diego County residents receive in food stamps, which in California are called CalFresh. But for many, including San Diego resident Brett Fisher, the challenge lasts more than a week.
You don't want to take, right? You'd rather be, giving. I'd rather be working and be contributing to other people. But I gave it some thought, and I was having trouble feeding myself. So the little bit of money I do get on CalFresh helps my diet to be better, and I consider that a good investment in myself to keep me well.
Fisher works in horticulture and landscape maintenance, but currently can't work because he has a spinal condition. So he applied for CalFresh in November. The CalFresh Challenge is from Monday to Friday this week. Take a look at this winter storm and the winter-like storm in the middle of May. This is a scene outside Laguna Mountain Lodge yesterday. Chains were required on Palomar Mountain this weekend. The snowstorm coated backcountry mountains with an icing of white. Plus, thunderstorms gave San Diego's Petco Park its first baseball rainout since 2015. In tonight's forecast, Regina Miller says we may see cool weather heading into Mother's Day.
Well, as we take a look across Southern California here, there were some showers around the mountains, around Mount Laguna, for example, in Southern California. A little bit of that activity up towards Oceanside, Borrego Springs. Things looking pretty quiet. Now for tonight in the metro areas, it'll be turning cloudy with an overnight low of 58 degrees. In Oceanside, we'll be at 52 degrees, and we'll have skies turning cloudy there around Mount Laguna, and a couple of showers here around Mount Laguna as well, and our temperature there of 40 degrees. Now, we've had this system came out of the Baja, working its way up towards Arizona, and as a result, we are still going to see some unsettled weather with a shower or two around. Some low clouds breaking along the coast for your Tuesday, a cool day. 68 degrees, still could be a shower around in spots. On Wednesday, perhaps a morning shower. Otherwise, we're just going to see variable cloudiness and a temperature of 70. Clearing skies on Thursday, we get to 71 degrees along the coast. Friday, we'll have clouds to start things off in the morning, but then sunshine for the afternoon. Same thing on Saturday, we'll have those morning clouds giving way to afternoon sunshine. Inland, we're going to see low clouds on Tuesday breaking. Still could be a shower around in some locations, a temperature of 70 degrees. And then on Wednesday, perhaps a morning shower. Otherwise, clouds breaking at times for sunshine, especially as we go into the afternoon with a temperature of 73 degrees. On Thursday, low clouds give way to sunshine, starting to get a little warmer at 75. We get to 77 by Friday. Low clouds give way to sunshine. Same thing on Saturday in the inland locations. As we head towards the mountains, a shower or two around, a cool day, only 53 for your Tuesday. Cool with some sunshine, though, at times on Wednesday at 56 degrees. We start to get a little milder, just a little bit on Thursday. We go to 64 degrees with a mostly sunny sky. Plenty of sunshine on Friday, wall-to-wall blue skies here at 66, and mostly sunny on your Saturday at 64 degrees. In the desert locations, we are going to see a temperature of 76 for your Tuesday. There'll be a shower or two around the area as well. And then on Wednesday, we jump to 81 degrees with a partly sunny sky. By Thursday, mostly sunny skies and 90 degrees. And then it's off to the races for Friday. We're back to 94 degrees, sunny and seasonable. On Saturday, we have mostly sunny skies with a high temperature of 91 degrees. I'm Regina Miller, KPBS News.
Rainfall plays a critical part in the hydrologic cycle, the circulation of water from the atmosphere to the earth and back again. There's a laboratory that has been recording data from a North Carolina watershed for more than 80 years. In tonight's SciTech report, producer Frank Graff shows us how that information could reveal new details about climate change.
The rain that falls outside your window today is the same rain that watered the grounds and filled the streams and rivers millions of years ago during Earth's earliest days. That's right, the rain that was still is.
So we're interested into quantifying that, seeing how much it changes depending on the environmental conditions.
That's because rain, actually water, is vitally important to every living thing on the planet. And water is constantly cycling from earth to sky and back again.
So water in streams is important, obviously, right, for not only the fish and the critters that live in the stream, but also our water supplies.
It's called the hydrologic cycle. Let's follow this drop to see what happens. When the little water droplet becomes heavy enough, it falls from the clouds as snow or rain. Some of the water washes over the ground and flows into streams and rivers, and eventually into lakes and even the ocean. It evaporates back into the atmosphere, turning back into a cloud. Water droplets can also fall to earth and soak into the ground, and then be taken up by trees and plants. It's later released into the atmosphere through transpiration. But we're only now beginning to understand the specifics of the hydrologic cycle, thanks in part to the Coweta Hydrologic Laboratory in western North Carolina. The U.S. Forest Service bought the 5,600-acre forest and set it aside as an experimental forest back in 1934. The primary focus is on rainfall, stream flow, and how the forest uses water. One of the main research tools is a weir.
Again, it's called a weir, and this is one of the most precise ways you can use to measure how much water is coming down a stream.
A weir resembles a dam, but it's more than that. It's a stream gauging station built across a watershed. 32 weirs are built on various watersheds throughout the Coweta Basin.
So this wall extends all the way down to bedrock and extends all the way into the hill slope on one side of the stream. You can see it crosses the road and goes into this other hill slope. And so the idea is that you're taking all the water uphill of this weir, whatever's coming down the stream and whatever is moving in the shallow groundwater, and you're forcing that water to come over this, what we call a blade, this opening of the weir. So you're quantifying every bit of water leaving this watershed. You see the pond upstream of the wall. That pond is connected through pipes to a well inside of our gauge house. And so the height of the water inside this well is exactly the same as the height of the water in this pond. So in this well we have a float sitting on top of that water that's going up and down with the level of the water. And we record that with a time chart in the gauge house. And knowing the height of that water and the geometry of this weir, there's been experiments done to calculate flow as a function of the height of that water. So it's an equation, statistical equation that's calculating flow as a function of the height of the water.
Measuring stream flow gives a more accurate view of the water flowing through a watershed because rainfall varies over an area. And the weir system allows the watershed to be measured day and night through storm and sunshine.
But here we're measuring the height of this water to within 1 millimeter of its actual value.
Readings have been taken every 5 minutes since 1934. That's roughly 200 million bits of data. And that consistency is important.
The strength in what we do here is that we've got continuous measurements from one place over time with the same method. It's very consistent, very robust, and what we've seen over time is not that our mean is shifting up or down, so it's not getting uniformly wetter or uniformly drier, but our dry years are getting drier and our wet years are getting wetter.
The long trend of data shows the Coweta Basin still receives about the same amount of rain each year it's been getting for the past 80 years. But it also reveals that the dry years are getting drier, which means periods of drought are becoming more common and more severe. It also shows that wet periods are getting wetter, what many people call a torrential downpour with flooding. All of that will affect what plants, trees, and eventually animals live in the forest.
So we expect in the future, as our climate becomes more variable and we have more drier and more prolonged droughts, that we will see some species suffer as a result of that. So our species composition is going to be continuously changing.
To understand what those changes mean for the forest, dozens of experiments are studying sap flow in individual trees, soil moisture, and how the mineral content in the soil is changing. This instrument-laden tower measures just how much carbon the forest is taking in and releasing.
The leaves during the daytime are doing photosynthesis, so carbon dioxide enters the leaf, it gets transformed into carbohydrate, into sugar, but at the same time those leaves need to metabolize. They're like all of our cells. They basically have a certain cost of doing business, so they're breaking down a certain amount of carbon, releasing that back as carbon dioxide.
It takes a long time for these changes to manifest. It takes, especially given the variability we have in rainfall, you have to have a lot of data to be able to tease out a trend. Forests move slowly. It takes a long time for a forest to change, and so you can't do this in 10, 20 years. You have to have a long-term record to do it.
You can find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org/evening edition. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.